Hello, I am Mac and this is Refocusing Barbados. I'm once again happy to be back with you and dealing with the issues as they arise. Today we have to deal with two critical issues, and I'm looking at this from the perspective of there's some things that I understand clearly, and a lot of us understand it clearly also. Whenever a country is ravaged by war or economic difficulties, there are two groups of people who suffer the most: the children and the elderly, or the poor. You see, these two groups are unable to withstand the pressures and of war or a bad economy. Ultimately they succumb to them. But a caring and just society will always ensure that the vulnerable is always protected. And let me say that again. A caring society will always ensure that the vulnerable is always protected. We are seeing signs in our country that these two groups are being ravished because the protections that were there before have been cruelly removed. And I have always maintained that what is happening to our people is unnecessary. And when you examine closely the MPs on the government bench in particular, you would realize that a lot of these MPs came from poor families. So where is there a disconnect? Why can't these MPs identify with the poor anymore? Why can't these MPs feel the suffering and the pain of these two groups of people? What has happened? What has happened? Where's the caring? Where's the understanding of the plight of their people from whom they have come? I always look at this as something that is like a phenomenon. I am trying to explain it, but do they understand what is happening to the poor? Can they see? I have always maintained that after a politician becomes an MP, the first thing he loses is his ears. He cannot hear anything. And then he loses his sight. He doesn't see anything because he lives in a different world. But I am maintaining that they should be able to hear and see the people's pain, because it is widespread. You cannot drive too far in this country where you do not see the pain. There are teachers in every school who witness that pain every day. So it is nothing that is hidden. It is obvious. So what is happening at the Child Care Board and the Psychiatric Hospital are casualties of failed government. Why can't we have a Child Care Board that is responsive to the needs of children? Why are our children dying the way they're dying? Why are our children being subjected to such cruelty and they have to die and the media have to intervene before something can be done for these poor children? It will have to mean that the Child Care Board is heartless. And I have had to deal with the Child Care Board on one occasion, and I tell you, I was very disappointed that we have people like that when it's such an important institution. The protection for our children begin right there, because there are people, their mothers and their fathers, who are not responsible, who will not take care of the children. So that has been set up specifically to deal with these kind of things. But it doesn't function. And the Prime Minister says he will look into it. Well, you know the slow pace of the Prime Minister, it means that he ain't get around it to 2018. He ain't get around to 2018 because of the pace at which he moves. He too does not understand the importance of quick and timely action. But if the minister was doing his job, it would not have reached this stage. And if that minister was an employee of any private sector organization, he would have been fired. And these poor children are suffering. Like the last 3 children that went through hell for 6 years, and nobody in Child Care Board took it upon themselves to really help these children. And you know what? The children become a casualty of the system. My goodness, all these people went to the Child Care Board. Man grocery shopping 3 times. Church had to make him pray to get these children delivered. People complain, and yet still the people in Child Care Board did nothing to help those 3 children. People complain to Child Care Board for little children who were suffering. You know what happened? They're dying. They have died. You think that's bad? Check out the psychiatric hospital. Cindy Ford, MP Cindy Ford, talked about the psychiatric hospital and what is happening down there. Let me tell you something. When you reflect on this, right? Our people are not before blame, you know. Our people have seen good government before. But all people chose to cut out their guts and stuff it with trash. And now they're complaining. Because we refuse to do the due diligence. We refuse to do the hard work of asking the questions. And putting our interests before the political party's interests. And now we're all crying out. This is what happens when we are less than being vigilant. I'm having some serious problems, right? I'm having some serious problems in the psychiatric hospital. And this is something I can talk about and I will talk about now. I am one of those persons who came forward to provide aid for the patients some of the patients at psychiatric hospital. There's one charity who approached me and asked if I can partner with them to provide meals for the psychiatric hospital. I said, yes, I will. When I was told what was happening in the psychiatric hospital, I came up and I said, yes, I will help because I don't like to see people suffer. And what I did, I provided funding, I provided baked product, and I provided food stuff that those people can get meals regularly. You won't believe what happened, huh? You believe that the aid coming into the patients was stopped? Yes, they stopped it. Not because the meals were inferior, but there's some questions I want to ask. Who is the bigger psychiatric hospital that's preventing aid from reaching the patients? Second question. Who are the persons or people that make rotis and sweetbread and sell them to the patients at the psychiatric hospital? Why was the meals provided to the patients by a charity organization prevented from getting to the patients? Who sent down the order to stop the meals from coming in? And where do these people get the stuff from, the ingredients from, to make the rotis and to make the sweetbread? I also want to know what happened to the bales of toilet paper that was sent to the hospital for the patients. And we think that it is sweet in this country? You think you got a caring government? You think you got a government that cares about the interests of the poor people and the people who are underprivileged. What this government is creating is a mass of people who are suffering, a mass of people who are underprivileged. And as this crisis continues, you see the psychiatric hospital is going to burst at the seams. Because some people just can't cope with this crisis. They're going to come under stress and they're going to give in. Because this stress is too severe and has been too prolonged. Some people are unable to withstand the pressures of this economic situation. And we got people who have been put in position to take care of people who are less fortunate, and they take it upon themselves to prey upon these people. That is wrong. These are things that need looking into. I ain't saying no more though. But on next episode, I'm going to say a lot more about what's happening in the psychiatric hospital, because this must come to an end. This is nonsense. This is funny. And they're exploiting the patients at the psychiatric hospital. That's all for now, folks. This has been Refocusing Barbados, and I am an angry man. Thank you.